Well, hi everybody, I'm Al Ruechel and welcome to this portion of the PCS Journal. We sit down and chat with the Superintendent of Pinellas County Schools, Dr. Michael Grego. Good to see you, Dr. Grego.
Great to see you too, Al.
You know, the only bad thing over the last 3 or 4 years is we've had so little bad news that as far as a real solid punch to get into these interviews, we hardly ever happen because the school district is running so smoothly. Why is that?
It's going well. We had a great opening of schools, and it's been 9 weeks already into the opening of schools, but it's because, whether it's our food workers or custodians or head plant operators or bus drivers, I mean, everyone's on task each and every day, our teachers, our administrators, and so it is tough work, and I continue to ask the parents to continue to support us as we go into this school year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really blessed is that we really weren't impacted by Hurricane Michael.
Oh boy, yeah,
last
very
week.
thankful
So
about that.
we really keep our thoughts and our prayers to the people in the Panhandle in terms of what they're going through, and some of the schools and communities that were really heavily impacted by that hurricane.
The big headline, if there is, for going to this school year is we've got to keep the schools safe. Have you noticed any change in terms of perception? Because we know that you added a lot of safety officers that are done through the Pinellas County Schools Police Department, which a lot of other folks don't have.
We did. We added about 20 additional officers in our school district, or Pinellas County School District Police Department, and then we also, as was noted, we added through the Guardian program, we added school security officers in our elementary schools, and that's going really, really well. I see them in our schools. They're dressed with the same uniform, the bright yellow tops with dark pants, and so we know who they are.
Very professional.
They're very professional. They've been trained by Sheriff Galtieri over the summer. In fact, we're going through our second training starting October 22nd, and we'll be ending right around the Thanksgiving holiday, because we'll continue to need additional ones. We'll have some attrition, but that position is growing, and I can tell you that the elementary principals and teachers, and most importantly the students, really appreciate those individuals being on campus.
Let me ask about one measure, because as you go around the community, you hear the goods and the bads. One of the questions that one of the teachers raised to me was, you know, we appreciate all the safety, but it's kind of a pain when we always have to lock our doors into the classroom, out to the classroom. Explain why that's necessary.
It is necessary. Unfortunately, in many of the shootings in this country where they took place at schools, teachers were trying to, in a very hectic way, trying to get out to the outside of their door, and it happened in Broward County also, where a teacher went out to try to lock the door. Everyone's in a rush, everyone's hectic, and we had some teachers shot at that time. So it is a lockable issue. It's a quick and easy way of doing things. We're looking at new locks. We're looking at ways that we can lock and automatically lock, so the teacher doesn't always have to lock manually from the inside and outside.
Oh, so they have to manually lock it now.
We are looking at ways that we can do that. And it's a part of the hardening of the buildings that we're writing, and the sheriff's working with us, that we're going to be submitting to the State Department December 1, and to be able to afford some of these and many other things. But you know, Al, one of the things, and Sheriff Galtieri is going to be coming out with a report on this too, and we're both in agreement with this. You can harden a building all you want. You have to be extremely vigilant in terms of the threat assessment. What's happening in our schools? Let's be aware of our surrounding. Our Sandy Hook promise that's taken off, just say hello and really be aware of the surroundings. Be aware when students are not engaged. Try to engage students and be understanding of each other. We want to build good character in our schools.
Sure.
It's not about just hardening of buildings. So we're excited about what we're doing in character development and character building that will in turn create a safer environment.
When you have a school lockdown, we constantly monitor all the radios and stuff, and some of the stuff that we put on the air, we think it's relevant. Other things that we don't, like bomb threats and stuff, because don't want to give anybody attention. But what happens when you have a lockdown? And oftentimes the lockdown really doesn't have anything to do with what's going on with the school, but maybe what's going around the school.
99.9% of the times, almost 100%, I want to say 100%, has nothing to do with what's going on in the school. There's something going on around the community, in the communities directly around the school. And to ensure safety, what we do is we close the gates, and we call a lockdown or a lockout. And that is that we don't allow anybody for a period of time until it's cleared. So if it happened in Clearwater, Chief Slaughter will then contact us and say we have an incident someplace. It might be a 7-Eleven, it might be a store, it might be some incident, it might be a domestic issue. And we would want to just keep the schools safe, as other areas too. It's not only schools. And then when they give us a clearance, then we release it. And so it's just a precautionary measure, a safety measure, that we want to ensure our students are safe every day.
And do you teach the kids not to freak out? I'm using that word. Oh, well, I have a bunch of grandkids. they're all different ages in all these schools. So are they, they told it's a lockdown and they just all don't sit behind their desks and just shudder and in panic? Or
we really work with the adults there in a lockdown, so we don't necessarily announce it to our students. If it's something on the outside, we bring our PE classes in. It's very calm. We don't try to alarm students on a regular basis at all. The adults need to know what's happening, what's going on. The students just need to continue on with their work, and just to ensure the safety is the adults with the perimeter. And so be it, the school security officers there to ensure that secure border of the school.
Now we got a list of wonderful things going on in our schools. We'll start out with this Tarpon Springs Fundamental Elementary, named a 2018 National Blue Ribbon School. Tell me what that's all about.
Well, the Blue Ribbon status of the Blue Ribbon School is the highest honor on the national level, and we're invited to go to Washington, D.C. Coming up in a few weeks, and the Tarpon Springs Fundamental Elementary School. Elaine Miles, who was the principal there, has since retired, but she will be joining us in Washington, D.C., and Holly Oakes, who's the current principal. This is 12 schools in the state of Florida, and only 300, a little over 349 schools to be exact in the United States will be honored in D.C. So we're real pleased that one of our schools in Pinellas County is being raised up as one of the highest honors in the country.
Yeah, highest high school graduation rates, highest achieving students in the top 15% in English, mathematics, measured by state assessment. So congratulations to those schools. Have fun in D.C., but don't you try to climb that Washington Monument. There's no way to do that.
Yes.
All right, we have 16 Pinellas schools recognized as America's healthiest schools by the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. So why are they so healthy? What are they doing right?
I think what's so important about this, Al, is that we like you did in the beginning of this discussion, you focused on safety, you focused on academics, and you focused on, but I think what I always try to push, and our school board does too, is that it's about the whole child.
Yeah.
It's about creating students who have this consciousness about being healthy. So it's about eating healthy and exercising and trying to develop good, healthy living styles as they grow older. And so this is a very stringent type of assessment between examining our physical education, the recess that we have, but even before the recess issue that came up and we added it to it, our physical education program in our district was very robust. And so we are just being recognized. I think we had 16 of the 22 in the state of Florida being recognized that our schools are gold, silver, and bronze standards. So it's just an element that I want our public to recognize of the importance of healthy living.
Yeah, all the way around.
All the way around. It's
Absolutely.
not only eating, but it's the exercise and it's the lifestyle.
Right.
And we're promoting that in our district.
Super. Are they serving kale chips yet? Have you ever eaten kale chips?
Yes, I have.
Yes, it's like eating green nothing. That's the way I describe it. But it's very healthy for you. And the kids are eating their food and doing all the things that they should. That's great to know. All right, Duke Energy, thank you for providing financial support for more STEM academies. Tremendous success story, these STEM academies.
Yeah, this started, 2012-13, where we went and met with the top officials of Duke, and we presented them a business plan, and look, 4 or 5 years later, they've provided us just under $1 million in funding.
Great.
We started in all of our Title I schools. Now, Al, they're in every single elementary and middle school. We're impacting over just under 10,000, 9,000 plus students on a weekly basis, and that is just tremendous in what we're doing. I know you've interviewed Laura Spence, who's the head of this STEM movement.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the
Miss Energy, I call her.
Miss Energy. and just the enthusiasm and the partnership with parents, the after-school activity. It's a great model. And we want to thank our friends and our partners at Duke Energy. They came to our board a week or two ago and presented us a check for $212,000 to continue this process along. And I ask other businesses, because they see the STEM educational business really in the future promoting the skill set that they need as a company.
Yeah, and just did an interview a couple of weeks ago. So there's right now, just in the Bay Area, 14,500 STEM equivalent jobs that are available. People have had to have some kind of STEM training. now available right now. They can't find positions to fill. You got some several resource events that are occurring for families. Tell me at least about a couple of those. What's going on with those?
You know, we've talked about our Elevating Excellence program, and that's a program that's really, again, partnering with our parents and our students for post-secondary education and preparing students to go to top-tiered universities, in-state, out-of-state. We're having a function this Saturday, in fact, at Boca Ciega High School. It's one of many, and I'm going to continue to encourage parents to get involved with their students as they progress from 8th grade to 9th grade, and those high school years.
Oh, so important.
Where you start to say, so what do we need to begin to plan in the next 4 years? And the people with plans, and the students, and the guidance, and with the district, and the teachers with plans, so students are successful at reaching their goals. Elevating Excellence is all about that. And
yeah, you have to think ahead.
It's a distinct partnership with our Pinellas Education Foundation. And that's one, and that's a weekend. We also have this weekend at Thurgood Marshall a district-wide family resource fair where we're bringing in about 40 vendors from all different agencies as a resource to families.
Sure,
And we too, as a school district, will be represented there. So on Saturdays, I know it's a busy week, but we turn around on Saturdays and we do a lot of things to reach out to the parents, and we encourage them to attend just for a few hours. It's not all day.
You know, and if there's a bottom line, even with all the programs that we've been doing here, is that if you're a parent, you need help, ask for it. There are plenty of resources available, but you just got to say, hey, I need help. And don't be afraid to ask help, like there's some stereotype that, oh, I asked for help. No, don't do that. These resources are here for you. Dr. Grego, thank you. We'll be back with more of our program right after this.